Yo, what's good? It's SO the Soul G. So shout out to Flight Boss with the aspect. Well, it's a general aspect, but I'm gonna use the title that he's going off of, piggyback of being a square, Saturn and Pisces, learning how to appreciate the reality of a situation to begin to develop your creative tools and imaginations. And I agree, because I feel like a reality that a lot of you need to hear is to engage. I know we have personal shit going on, but the reality is we are the 1% of the 1% as a subconscious community. And from my personal position, I'm seeing it as, like, on TikTok, for example, you're more likely to get more engagement from random strangers. Some are bots, but most of the time, a lot of them are genuine, organic, small account users that are building, that are growing, and that are really appreciative of what you have to offer, and they're relating that publicly and leaving that in the comments, and you can pin it and you can reply to shit like that, as opposed to, like, on Instagram, you can't just, like, pin the comment to the backdrop and just, like, react and respond. So TikTok is more like, it's more like friendly and shit like that, and, like, it's a growth platform that is more geared towards small quick paced information and things like that, which was I don't know, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about if the short content is doing greater now because of reels and shit, but that's up for someone else to talk about, not me right now. I'm talking about, like, having a lot of people that don't really jump from TikTok to certain, or from other platforms to certain platforms, like, nonetheless, like, even Facebook, you know what I'm saying? But it's like engaging. We all have personal lives, right? I know I'm not gonna spend hours and hours on here scrolling, liking, looking at all the stories. So it's like we come across each other when we engage, when we enter comment sections, when we give advice, when we share tools, when we share updates, when we tag people in the stories. Like, that's how part of the communication and the spark and the fun aspects of spirituality when I started up was just like leaving, you know what I'm saying, the spaces from the YouTube lives and just jumping on here knowing nobody, but then just following a couple people and liking their content, and then, you know what I'm saying, tagging their stories and shit like that. So that's the only way that we're gonna grow in reality, and it's not gonna change, you know what I'm saying? Besides that, if you want to, you have your own shops and businesses and shit like that on the side, because even with that, all the niches that come with that, with tarot, that come with tarot, shadow work, crystals, crystal healing, sound baths, sound bowls. Like, you have to engage and expand. And with Venus leaving home, it's leaving rejuvenating. Like, you feel the energies. You know the energies. You are just in the space, and you're aware of these energies, right? But they're leaving home rejuvenated, revitalized. It's got a full meal. It's kind of like if it's stubborn. So if you were stubborn and Taurus, stubborn in your way of indulging, stubborn and not revolutionizing and evolving what you have and investing in that and flipping that, then it's like you just overindulged, and now you're oversleeping, you know what I'm saying? You didn't organize, you don't have your clothes ready to go back and interact with the world. But if you were consistent, then you planted the seeds to relate your way of thinking, relate your abstract way of thinking, relate your way of thinking on the fast pace, on like a minor scale, but very rapidly on the minor scale, which is Gemini, which is being mutable, right? So it's on the cusp, and that's cusp, that dust is like our spiritual allergies that are like attracting to your face, bringing to reality, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're not speaking on these things, we can see it on your face. I'm looking in the mirror, I can see it on my face, the spiritual dust settling, the spiritual pollen, the spiritual birth from the birds and the bees and everything springing forward and just reproducing, you know what I'm saying? And now we have the moon that's going to enter into Capricorn, right? So our emotions are going to be asleep. We're going to be wanting to be productive. Well, we're not going to be wanting or desiring like Aries. We are initiating a new way of being practical, bringing value to things. We are initiating a new way to use individuals, Sun and Aries, to express Sun and Aries our way of being an individual, of burning through reality and creating that vision. You know what I'm saying? Like it's asleep. It's burning through the reality of it's burning through the reality, basically, for you to see a new way, for you to relate your thoughts and your thoughts mainly in a new way relative to the experiences that you are having with this reality, seeing it from another person's perspective, like as if you're not engaging with them, as if you're doing the same content over and over again, as if you're losing followers and gaining followers, because people are going through their shifts. They're going to be wishy-washy, falling in and out of love like Geminis do, you feel me? So there's that with that square. But it's the moon, it's a 90-degree angle, so you're learning how to build more accurately, because we're always learning. You're learning how to build more accurately with individuals. You know what I'm saying? It's in the dead of winter, you know what I'm saying? Solstice. So it's structuring and refining and initiating a structure to survive that winter fall, right? So with this springing forward, we're learning how to do that in the springtime way, right? How we are springing forward off of what you want to have a foundation. You want to have a foundation to initiate off of with Capricorn. That's why they grab people and are used and know how to be used, and are kind of cold and lack that nurturing emotional connection, where Aries is passionate and is driven and is jumping into projects and shit like that. So you're going to it's like taking your brick and you're wedging it without the cement, right? You can sit back and see where it's an individual. You can sit back and see how your building is individual, how your architecture is individual, how it's being expressed by just being that status. Now, lacking the emotion that connects, that condenses that fire and makes it heavy, it's just going straight into practicality. But Earth is derived out of water. So this Capricorn opposing the Cancer with the Mars and with the Mars in Cancer, feeling the comfortability, initiating a new way to be comfortable with different areas of our passions, our desires, and our motivations, self-motivating out of the home, out of the private endeavors, and being that other 90-degree with Aries, expressive individual within yourself, because the sun is exalted in Aries. So Aries is exalted, so it's at the fairgrounds. It's going hard at a fast pace, rapid motion, but it's still like reflecting back towards, it's hard for Aries to reflect, you know what I'm saying? But when they're in their impulses, then they see, once they get home, when it's square with the square in Mars, is learning. It's like, damn, okay, I'm doing all this right now, but which way am I going to express myself behind closed doors when, no one's around, when no one's watching? Which way am I going to initiate a new way of burning through reality of my home, where Cancer is occupying with comfortability and things? You see where I'm going with that, with all the 90-degree aspects and things of that nature. But yeah, if there's anything that you want to see, that you desire to see, that you think could be better built upon, that we could better collaborate with the energy that we have now, leave it in the comments. Tag me in your stories. Share this shit, because you can. Press the share button. Don't forget to do that, because a lot of people don't want to act like they value that shit. Nigga, I value that shit. Venus is in Gemini, right? In my 10th house. So I'm relating and communicating constantly, trying to, work out the widgets of my status and career and reputation. And me having Lilith there, I go extreme in misunderstandings. Rather that's burning out from posting like 3 reels in the same day for a week straight against the algorithm, getting shadow banned, or just not sharing stories at all, because they really only get 17 likes out of all the people that's following. But that is what it is. That's been 7 years of accumulation and shit like that. So it's always coming in and out. It's always loose hairs that grow in, right? Loose hairs that grow in and shed and locks and shit like that. So that's nothing to look over. But these are the aspects, this is the energy is brought to you by yours truly. You know what I'm saying? So appreciating the reality of where social media is going. Just coming from Aquarius moon, because Pluto's in Aquarius. It's in Aquarius on my 6th house with, you know what I'm saying, school, work, ritual, routines, patterns, and just being unique and being like setting the stage from that. But mainly now, like using the opposite energy, paying attention to myself, or giving attention to certain details, which I'm giving attention to these details, right? And giving attention to you to give attention to these details so that we can grow, so that we can, you know what I'm saying, continue to put our best feet forward with the energies and the aspects that are taking place as we are springing forward with these spiritualities, with Venus appreciating our way of, you know what I'm saying, thinking, communicating, and relating, and not, you know what I'm saying, all the square energies, whether they're in the planet or not, where you have them internally, you know what I'm saying, not over analyzing what you value now, you know what I'm saying, and not being overly dreamy with your dreams that are coming into reality, and with Saturn and Pisces, and you're ignoring them because you're in a delusion with Saturn, but, you know, not with Saturn, but with Neptune, but they're in the same, you know what I'm saying, sign and shit. So, and with that being said, our emotions, we're being less emotional, being more structured and geared towards driving these things home, while still, if it's not emotion and holding it down and hunkering down, it's still passionate, driven, willpower, and desire, what we're being consciously aware of with the sun here that's being exalted, brought to you by citrine, you know what I'm saying, and pyrite, you know what I'm saying, because we was experiencing in Sagittarius, right, we was experiencing our accumulations of the fire trines, wherever you sparked your individuality in whatever house you have Aries in, and then upheld that creativity by giving it attention or receiving attention wherever you have Leo in, and somewhere between that fire trine, you know what I'm saying, not exploding, you know what I'm saying, transitioning, like letting go, shedding energies, shedding, it's the fire element, so detaching, but you're detaching within detaching from Aries to Leo, you know what I'm saying, Leo with the big heart, with the 5th house entertainment and children and things like that, to Sagittarius, experiencing your philosophies and pulling the meanings and reasonings and wisdoms and teaching, and while teaching you're learning and shit like that. There's all kinds of explosiveness, narcissistic energy that can take place in there, but that's just the example that I'm giving, you know what I'm saying, from the transitions to where we have now, with sort of like being dry with 2 planets that are debilitated, and one on the cusp energy, you know what I'm saying, and one other's exalted, one leaving home, and Uranus still in Taurus. So these are all the aspects and engagements that I'm talking about as we grow as a channel, and losing and growing and sharing partners. So be sure to share that shit. I got the Patreon, I got the Kojis, the links in the bio. Click on the links, y'all. If you're new to my page, thank you for just viewing. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, viewing the stories. If you didn't do none, I just thank you for taking the time out of your day, because I know it's plenty of short reels that you can just keep scrolling past and not seeing the caption, but I appreciate you for taking the time and just putting in that self-work, valuing yourself, valuing doing something different for the sake of you doing something different, relating your thinking and seeing what you can gain from it with experiencing it on this Mars day in Cancer home. Thank you. Sun and Cancer representative, you know what I'm saying? So let's get it.